Somebody once said, if you're still alive, God is not yet done with you. You know, in the past 1 week I've really been considering that statement, because if it was up to another human being to determine whether you're alive or not, they probably would have decided to kill you long time ago. One time I'm going back home this particular evening and I receive a call from a long-time friend. And the person goes like, I am so grateful that I could hear your voice once again. That definitely was enough to shake me. What do you mean? And the person continues on to say, you know what, I just read somewhere online that you're dead. And I'm like, what is that? So of course, that whole evening, so many calls came in, a flood of calls, people just calling to confirm that I was okay. And I tell you, my goodness, I got home and just to meet my family and all that, and I told them about it. Of course, I responded and I said, hey, those were rumors. And that brings me to point one, the reality of fake news and how dangerous it can be. You know, I just thought to myself, what if my phone was off and I was away from my family and my wife read that message? What if somebody called her and said, hey, do you know, I mean, this is what's happening, and she tries to call me and I am offline? What could have happened? So really all of us have to come to the reality that if we don't tell our stories, somebody else will quickly tell our story. And you know, if somebody else tells your story, they will always tell it based on their personal interests. So that is number one, and I really want to appreciate also the US Embassy in Kenya. Recently they started a whole movement in terms of battling fake news in this country, where they say stop, reflect and verify. Whatever information that comes your way, stop, reflect and verify. It's very important. Where we are going with mobile journalism and citizen journalism and all these things, it's important for us to be awake to the reality that information can be concocted and designed to actually spread rumors and to even destroy personalities and institutions. And if you and I are not awake to that reality, we may end up making wrong decisions and even making wrong conclusions. But the second one, which is also very important, something that I learned, was the power of concern. Because that very night when I was at home, so many people were calling, people that I had never met or talked to for years, and they were calling just to ask, are you okay, are you all right? And so I looked at that and I said, my goodness, sometimes we think people don't care about us, but really at the very bottom of their hearts they do care. It's just that people are busy, people are doing so many things out there, but they really do care. So I'd really want to encourage you out there, if you've been feeling nobody cares in this world, nobody calls me, I'm not saying you do something so that people come and show their concern, but just walk with the reality that, you know what, the fact that you're alive, your very presence on earth is a great encouragement to somebody else. Just like a child is a great encouragement and motivation to a parent. Just to see somebody you love alive is enough to keep you going. So that's very important. And that brings me to my final point regarding the same. And I was just looking at the papers today, and I looked at the photo of one of my great mentors. He taught me the art of interviewing, and I remember one time sitting down and he was teaching us as a team on how to interview. And all of a sudden, of course, you know his story, Mr. Louis Otieno, an amazing, prolific journalist. I mean, he is a star up to now, and I really celebrate him, because wherever I am, I'll always remember that he actually really planted a seed in my life. And I saw this paper, and he's basically talking about, it talks about final effort in support of Louis Otieno. And you know what happened to him? He lost his hearing. And this is really a moment where we can also share our concern. Anything can happen to any one of us. And I think the one thing that all of us hope for is that place where you know people care, And for such a person who was really in the forefront, making sure that journalism really stands out as a profession, and a gentleman who was really committed in making sure that, you know, the authority was there, putting leaders to task. I think it's really important for all of us together as a country to say, you know what, this is an opportunity. We can celebrate his life, we can contribute in his life in a simple way. And the advert continues on to say the date is 18th of May, this Friday, at Villa Rosa Kempinski, starting at 6 p.m. Just come, and you'll be able to buy a plate, and that plate, it's a plate of dinner, and help Louis Otieno get a chance to regain his hearing. Probably, you know, maybe you watched him, maybe you saw him from afar, or you heard from him. You may never get a chance to really get a hold of who he is, but in this simple way you can contribute in his personal life and say, you know what, we care for you regardless of what has happened in the past. We want to stand with you, we want to support you. So I'd really want to take this opportunity to really invite you, be part of really celebrating one of my great mentors, and really I celebrate him. Louis Otieno, many thanks. We celebrate you, and thank you for the work that you did in the past, and thank you personally for really helping me in the past as well. And I wish you all the best. God bless you big time.